Jordan, can we please have one more round before you leave for work?
Joanne, I'm already late. I barely got out of the shower because you pulled me in and didn't let me breathe.
You're avoiding me again.
I'm not avoiding you. I'm just not in the mood.
You're never in the mood anymore.
Because I'm tired. Every night it's the same thing.
I'm your wife. Wanting to feel close to you shouldn't feel like I'm bothering you.
It's not that you're bothering me. It's that it feels like a job now. Like if I don't do it, you'll take it personal, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm failing at something even in my own bed.
And I'm tired of feeling rejected by the one person who's supposed to want me.
It's not about you. I'm not cheating. I'm not interested in anyone else. I'm just drained. Mentally. Physically. I come home and feel like I'm already running on empty.
So what am I supposed to do? Just roll over every night and pretend it doesn't sting?
I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to understand.
Understand what? That you don't want me anymore? 'Cause that's what it feels like.
No, that's not it. But sex isn't how I recharge. It's pressure. And when it feels like pressure, I shut down.
Then talk to me. Don't just turn away and hope I'll get the message. I'm not a mind reader.
And I'm not a machine. Just because I used to want it all the time doesn't mean I can keep that up forever.
I never asked for forever. I just wanted to know I still matter to you.
You do. But right now, I need space to figure out why everything feels heavy. It's not about not loving you. It's just, I'm tired. And I need you to stop reading that as rejection.
Okay, but please stop making me feel like a problem you don't want to deal with.
I'm not trying to. I just don't know how to fix it yet.
Then let's figure it out together. But don't keep shutting me out.
You've been spending a lot of time in the washroom lately.
And?
I'm just saying, it's been hours, sometimes. You disappear. Lock the door. Stay there for hours.
Have I?
I wasn't clocking you or anything. I just noticed.
Well, sometimes, men need privacy, Diana. We take it where we can find it.
Of course. I understand that. It's just, lately it feels a bit much. Sometimes you're in there longer than you sleep.
Didn't know my quiet time needed approval.
No, that's not what I meant. It's just.
You think I owe you a logbook for every place I sit?
No. But I think after 7 years, a little curiosity isn't a crime. You vanish behind a door every night and barely return to bed. It's unsettling, my dear husband.
Maybe the toilet seat's just warmer than the couch these days.
Don't mock me. I'm serious. This habit, it's becoming something else. If it's space you need, I can help you find a better place. The washroom's not exactly peaceful.
You know what's unhealthy? Being watched like a suspect in my own home.
Then please, choose a different place. A quiet room. A bench outside. Somewhere that feels serene.
You're reading too much into things. Again.
Am I?
If a man wants quiet, let him have it.
Silence can say more than words, Collins. And lately, yours has been screaming.
Jordan, can we please have one more round before you leave for work?
Joanne, I'm already late. I barely got out of the shower because you pulled me in and didn't let me breathe.
I know I did, and I'm sorry if it caught you off guard, but I woke up still aching. Last night didn't settle it for me, and the shower, it wasn't enough either.
We were up past midnight, and again in the early hours. I'm running on fumes, and you're asking for more like my body isn't already worn out.
I didn't mean to push you. It's not just about the act, Jordan. It's the way it quiets something in me. I keep hoping that maybe if I can feel you close one more time, just for a few minutes, that ache will finally stop screaming.
But that ache never seems to stop, does it? No matter what I give, it keeps coming back. And it's not that I don't love you, Joanne, it's that I'm beginning to feel like love isn't enough anymore.
Are you saying I'm too much for you?
I'm saying I don't know how to meet a need that never rests. I don't know how to be everything when what I am is never enough.
You make it sound like I'm broken. Like something's wrong with me just because I want you more than most wives probably do.
I'm not calling you broken. But I am saying this isn't normal. You don't just desire me, Joanne, you demand me. And it's starting to feel like you don't see the cost it's taking on me.
And what about the cost it takes on me to go without? You think I don't feel torn up inside when I have to lie beside you pretending I'm not burning with need? I try to hold it back. I try to sleep through it. I pray about it. But it won't leave me.
Then maybe it's something we need help with, real help. Because if this is what intimacy looks like for us now, then we're not building a marriage anymore. We're just surviving your appetite.
So what am I supposed to do when you walk out that door and the fire is still there, and I'm left alone to deal with it?
You quench it, Joanne. That's what you are supposed to do. You're supposed to stop pretending that I'm the solution to something that's clearly deeper than physical touch. I've loved you with all I have, Joanne, but I am not your cure. I am just a man.
That took a while. Thought you didn't hear me.
I was on a call. Needed some privacy.
With the door locked.
Sensitive client matter. You know how some of these guys are, they hear a printer cough outside and start panicking about leaks.
It's just, not the first time.
Am I under surveillance now?
Come on man, you've been locking your door a lot. Meetings get delayed. Phones go unanswered. You don't even respond when we knock sometimes.
You know how deadlines are. Sometimes I just need a few minutes without someone barging and asking where the stapler is.
Fair enough.
Besides, the lock helps me focus. Helps me breathe.
You're not hiding a second job in there, are you?
If I was, you'd be the last to know.
I'm serious, Collins. I've worked with you for 5 years. I know when something's off.
Don't start reading shadows on the wall. I'm good.
All right. If you say so.
I do.
Just, don't stay locked in too long, yeah. Whatever it is, air gets stale after a while.
Thanks, Patrick.
You always order caramel latte. Then spend the whole morning just watching it melt.
It's sweet enough without the rush.
You've been quieter lately.
Maybe I'm just tired.
Of what?
Do you ever feel like your marriage is somewhere else? Like it still exists, but in a different room. One you don't have the key to?
That's oddly specific.
Collins hasn't touched me in a very long time.
Is he upset about something?
He says no. Smiles. Eats. Sleeps. But I'm not there. Not really.
You think he's distracted? At work, maybe?
I don't know. I used to feel him, even in silence. Now it's like, even his presence feels borrowed.
That kind of distance doesn't come out of nowhere.
I tried asking. He said nothing's wrong. But I can tell something is. He spends longer time alone behind locked door. Doesn't answer when I call.
Well, that's odd.
I know, right?
Maybe it's time to remind him what you two had. Candlelight, music, something unexpected. Maybe he just needs a nudge back.
From what?
From whatever fog he's walking through. Routine kills heat, Diana. Sometimes we all forget how we started.
You think scented candles can fix this?
Not by themselves. But they might remind him you still remember what you two had. Before life got heavy.
I'm afraid if I light the candles, no one will show up.
Then at least you'll know you tried. And that it wasn't you who left the table first.
I didn't sign up for this. When I said I do, I imagine storms, I imagine trials, I imagine the weight of life pressing on us from the outside. But this is different. This isn't the world attacking us. This is something that's living inside our marriage. And I don't even know when it started growing. I remember when her desire made me feel wanted. Like I was the only man she could ever need. At first, it was exciting. It made me feel strong, manly, like I could meet every longing in her heart, but over time, it changed. It became a hunger, one I couldn't satisfy, no matter how many times I tried. Last night, I could barely lift my arms. And still, she reached for me like I hadn't touched her in months. And this morning, oh. I wanted to hold her, not reject her. But she didn't want comfort. She wanted relief. And I didn't have any left to give. I'd like to seek help, but what kind of man admits he can't keep up with his wife's desire? This isn't just physical. I see it now. It's spiritual. Something is clawing at her, something that intimacy alone can't heal. And I've been trying to fix it with my body when what she probably needs is deliverance. She needs prayers and maybe therapy. God, give me the strength to confront what I can't carry alone. And please, Lord, don't let this thing destroy the woman I fell in love with. She's still in there. I know she is. I just don't know how to reach her anymore.
What's all this?
Just thought we could have a quiet evening. Just the two of us.
Smells good.
I made that pasta you always ask for, back when you used to ask.
Been a long week.
I know. That's why I thought this might help. No TV. No phones. Just us.
It's really thoughtful.
I miss us.
I'm just really tired, D. Can we maybe do this another time?
I already made everything.
I know. I'm sorry. Work's been a lot. I just need to lie down for a bit.
You always need to lie down. But you never stay.
It's not you. Please don't take it that way.
Then tell me what it is. Because I'm standing in the middle of something that feels like love, and you're walking away from it.
This wasn't supposed to follow me here. Not into my marriage, not into my home. I was 15. Just curiosity then. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know it would follow me, into adulthood. Into love. Into covenant. I told myself I could control it. That it wasn't a real problem. That I'd stop once I got married. Once I had someone. Someone who loves me. But even now, I'm still hiding in dark corners, lying to her face, and lying to myself. I sat in that car for 15 minutes. Parked right outside this house. This house, where she set the table. Lit candles. Wore that dress I used to compliment. And I couldn't even look her in the eyes. Every time I do it, it feels like I lose something. A part of me. And I don't even know what anymore. It's not even about pleasure anymore. It's control. Escape. Habit. Prison. And I hate it. I hate that it owns me. I hate that it's making her think it's her fault. She asked me what's wrong. And I lied. Again. She thinks I'm tired. Distant. Maybe disinterested. But if she knew the truth. I need help. Real help. I need mercy. I need freedom.
So spill it. What's going on?
It's Jordan. We had this conversation last night. Or whatever you want to call it. He sat me down like I was some broken appliance that needed troubleshooting.
Wait, what? What did he say?
He said my desire is too much. That he's tired. That I'm wearing him out. And then he went on to say that we need therapy and deliverance.
Deliverance. Like holy oil and speaking in tongues kind of deliverance.
Exactly that kind. Like I'm possessed or something. Like what I'm going through is some spiritual curse. I mean, can you believe that?
Wow. I mean, that's a lot. I knew Jordan was quiet, but I didn't think he was judgmental.
He said it like he was being loving. Like he was trying to help. But how do you help someone by labeling them like that? It felt like a punch wrapped in scripture.
And all because what? You want your husband to actually act like a husband in the bedroom.
We're married. I should be able to want him. Need him. Isn't that part of it? But the moment my needs don't match his limits, suddenly I'm the one with a problem.
Girl, if my man ever tried that with me, I'd handle it myself before I ever let him shame me for wanting him.
Wait, what?
I'm joking. Kind of. I mean, come on. What are we in the 1800s? Sometimes a girl's gotta take care of business.
Chantel.
What? It's not illegal. And it's a lot less stressful than waiting on a man who thinks your passion is demonic.
That's not funny.
You're right. It's not. But it is real. You're a woman with a pulse. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed of that.
You ever just look at your laundry basket and want to walk out the door?
Yesterday. It was staring at me like it had a grudge.
Patrick claims he can't tell whites from colors. But somehow he knows how to connect every wire in this house.
Colin still asks me where the teaspoons are. After 7 years.
I keep mine on the same shelf, same jar, still a mystery to Patrick. You guys still do Friday nights?
Not lately. He's been working a lot. Comes home worn out.
Funny. Patrick said he seems distracted at work these days. More than usual. Locked doors, long silences, odd moods.
Really?
Men and their seasons, right? They never say what's really going on, but the signs are always there. If you know where to look.
What kind of signs?
I don't know. Just when things don't add up. When the warmth disappears but nothing's been said. When they start hiding behind tired and long day a little too often. You start to wonder if what's missing is really sleep or something else.
I haven't noticed anything serious.
Of course. And maybe there's nothing. But just don't brush off your instincts, Diana. Silence doesn't always mean peace. Don't just keep things to yourself, talk to your husband. Who knows, maybe he is going through something worse.
Collins, can we talk for a moment?
Is it something urgent? It's been a long day.
No, it's not urgent. But it's been waiting too long already. I've been trying not to read into things. I've told myself it's just work stress, or the season we're in. But something has changed. I feel it, Collins.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing's changed.
Please don't do that. Don't dismiss me. I'm not accusing you. I'm just trying to understand what's happening between us.
There's nothing happening. I've just been tired lately. Work's been draining. That's all.
I know tired. I've seen you tired before. This isn't just that. You barely look at me anymore, Collins. You come home, you eat, you disappear. I feel like I'm living with a ghost.
So now I'm a ghost?
No. You're my husband. That's why it hurts.
Maybe I just need space, Diana. Not every silence means something terrible is happening. Sometimes men just want to breathe without being interrogated.
I'm not interrogating you. I'm trying to hold on to what we have before it slips through my fingers completely. You think I don't notice how far away you've been? How cold the room feels even when we're both in it? If there's something wrong, something you're not saying, I want you to know you don't have to hide it. Not from me. The silence between us is becoming too heavy. I carry it everywhere, to bed, to work, to prayer. It's starting to sound like goodbye.
What if I really am too much for him? What if I pushed too hard for too long, and now he just sees me as a problem to fix? I didn't know how deep this ache ran until he stopped reaching for me. I don't even know if it's him I want or if I've just become addicted to being needed. Like there's something inside of me that refuses to be still. And then Chantel. Handle it yourself. Just like that. Like it's nothing. Like it's normal. But I'm not that kind of woman. I never have been. Or, maybe I've never had a reason to be. Until now. Is this how it starts? With a thought you don't cast down fast enough? With a silence that stretches too long, and a husband who prays for your deliverance instead of holding you close? God, I don't want to fall.
You know, I've been thinking. I need to break the routine at home. Things have gotten a little too predictable. Tonight, I'm trying something new: rose petals, scented candles, a playlist that's not from the early 2000s for once.
Wow, man. That sounds, elaborate.
Come on, Collins. Don't tell me you and Diana are still doing the old lights off, don't wake the kids routine.
Please. We've been way ahead of that curve. Switched things up months ago. These days, we don't even wait for nightfall.
Ha. That's what I like to hear. You always had that quiet confidence. I should have known you two were already reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. You know how it is. You figure each other out over time. Just takes being intentional.
Exactly. Can't let things get stale. That's when distance creeps in, quietly. You don't even realize until you're roommates, not lovers.
Right? That's true. To polishing.
By the way, Diana's still glowing. She smiled at me the other day in church and I thought, that woman's clearly being taken care of.
Well, I try. You try, huh? You try? You sit there like a man who has it all figured out, lying to your friend about a marriage that's unraveling thread by thread. Patrick's planting petals and candles, and I can't even look my wife in the eye. I said we were ahead of them. Spicing things up? I haven't touched her in, what, how many months now? What is wrong with me? How did I get here? You thought it would be temporary. Just stress relief. A bad habit from before marriage. But now it's this whole thing. This shadow you carry around like a friend. And she's in there, probably wondering what she did wrong. And I'm out here lying. Again. I need help. I don't want to lose her. I can't live like this anymore.
I told myself it was harmless. That it was private. Quiet. Controlled. It started as a whisper in my head. A joke from Chantal. A what if in the dark. I laughed at it once, now I can't silence it. One time turned into a week. A week turned into, what? 30 nights? Maybe more. I've lost count. Lost myself somewhere in it. And every time I finish, every time the heat fades and the silence comes back, I feel filthier than before. Like I've fed the wrong fire. And it's only growing hungrier. But at least I didn't cheat. Right? I didn't betray him with another man. I didn't open the door for someone else to hold what belongs to Jordan. So why do I still feel like something inside me is dying a little more every time I do it? God, if you're still listening, if you're still with me, I want to stop. I do. But wanting isn't the same as winning. Please help me. You remember what you said, that joke you made about handling it myself?
Yeah, I remember. Why?
I did it. And I kept doing it. Every time the ache came, every time Jordan rolled over and went to sleep, I reached for something else.
Okay, whoa. You're telling me this like it's a crime. You didn't cheat. You didn't step out.
Didn't I? Maybe not with my body, but something in me feels like it left the marriage anyway.
Girl, I didn't mean for you to go into a full-blown crisis over it.
Don't say it's normal. I chose shame in private.
I was just saying, sometimes we have to survive the cold when our husbands forget how to hold us.
But what if, in surviving the cold, I became colder too?
One of the greatest lies Satan whispers into Christian marriages is this: as long as you didn't cheat with someone else, you're still pure. But I came to tell you this morning, there are many forms of adultery, and not all of them involve another person. There's the adultery of the body, yes. But there is also the adultery of the heart, the adultery of imagination, the adultery of silence, when you give your desires more attention than your spouse, and you seek fulfillment in places God never intended. Matthew 5 verse 28. Jesus said, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. That tells me something. The battlefield isn't between the sheets. The battlefield is in the mind. Let's talk plainly. Some of you are hiding behind loneliness, saying, well, my spouse doesn't want me. So you run to pornography. You justify self-gratification. You normalize fantasy. You escape into pleasure because it's safer than rejection. But let me ask you, if God is Lord of your body, then who gave you permission to touch what He sanctified for someone else? And when you defile that in secret, even with your own hands, you defile the altar of your marriage. Listen to me. There are some of you who have been justifying sin because nobody knows. If you've opened doors through pornography, masturbation, affairs, emotional flings, or even an unhealthy obsession with intimacy, come clean. Your healing begins with your honesty. Not just with God, but with the one you share a bed with. The word says in Ephesians 5 verse 3, but among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or of any kind of impurity. Not even a hint. And 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 3 to 5 reminds us, it is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable.
Marriage is sacred, not just in body, but in thought, in secrecy, and in desire. Those were His words. And somehow, they sank deeper than anything I've heard in a long time. God, how did I get here? I haven't touched her. Not because I don't want to, but because I can't, not with this shame choking me. No more running. This has gone on long enough. If I keep hiding, I'll lose more than just her trust. I'll lose the very thing we built our lives on. It's time to talk. Even if it breaks her. Because maybe, just maybe, that's the only way we'll find healing. Lord, give me the strength to be honest. I will come clean to her, beg her forgiveness.
I feel like I'm drowning, and I've been pretending to swim. My marriage looks fine from the outside. People think we're solid, maybe even blessed. But inside, there's something broken. It's me. I'm the one who's broken. I thought getting married would calm whatever it is that's been burning in me for years. I thought, now I can finally stop struggling. But I was wrong. It's not normal how much I crave intimacy. I mean, it's more than just desire. It's like a hunger that never fills. And no matter how often Jordan tries, it's never enough. I've made him feel like he's not man enough just because he's exhausted. When he couldn't keep up, I started doing it myself. I told myself it was harmless, better than causing more fights. Better than looking elsewhere. It happened, and I can't take it back. And now I don't even recognize myself. I haven't told Jordan. I'm afraid if I do, I'll destroy what little peace we have left. But if I don't, I think I'll lose my soul in this silence.
You're brave to say all this. You're not just confessing sin, you're admitting pain and confusion. That takes courage most people never find. Joan, you need healing. What you've described isn't just temptation, it's torment. But healing won't come through secrecy. You must come clean, fully, completely. Not just to God, but to your husband. It may shatter his heart, yes. But truth is the only way to rebuild something real. You cannot stay in the shadows and expect the chains to break.
You're back already?
I forgot my wallet.
Right.
Do you want to tell me what I just walked in on?
Diana. It's not what you think.
No. Because what I think is that I just saw my husband something that explains a lot more than I wanted it to.
I didn't mean for you to find out like this.
Did you mean for me to find out at all?
Well,
The long showers. The locked doors. The quick changes of your phone screen when I walk in. The coldness in our bed. I noticed all of it. I kept telling myself I was overthinking. I thought maybe we were just going through a dry season.
it started when we were newly married. You were pregnant, tired all the time. I didn't know how to ask for what I wanted without sounding selfish. So I went back to something I thought I'd left behind. Diana, I was going to tell you. I promise I was. I sat with the truth so many nights. Thought about sitting you down, just looking you in the eye and saying it. Everything.
But you didn't.
Because I panicked. Every time. I imagined the look on your face, this exact one. I thought if I told you, that would be it. You'd leave. You'd say it was over.
You let fear justify betrayal?
I wanted help. I wanted to stop. But I didn't want you to see me as broken. I didn't want to fall from grace in your eyes. I need help, Diana. I can't fix this alone. I don't even trust myself anymore.
Jordan, I've made up my mind.
About what?
The therapist. The deliverance. Everything. I want to go.
You're sure?
Yes. For the first time, I see it clearly. This isn't just a craving in my body. It's something deeper. And it's not something I can manage with willpower.
You don't know what this means to me.
I thought you'd be upset that I didn't come to this sooner.
No. I'm just grateful you're here now. We don't need to rehearse regrets. We need to walk forward.
Will you come with me?
Every step. Every session. Every prayer. I'm not going anywhere.
I don't know what healing will look like, but I'm ready to put my all into it.
Then we'll face it together. Whatever it takes.
Thank you for not giving up on me.
I married all of you, Joanne. even the parts still learning how to heal.
You know, I still believe they should hand out a manual on marriage, right after the vows.
Only if it comes with a hotline and a refund policy.
And maybe a pair of earplugs, for when one person says, "I'm fine," but clearly isn't.
I'd take a remote. Pause. Rewind. Skip certain arguments entirely.
Dangerous gift. You'd be tempted to mute each other.
Guilty as charged.
It's funny though, how no matter how long you've been married, some things still surprise you.
Yes. The surprises never really stop, do they?
Some surprises are good. Others, well, they send you looking for people like Dr. Florence.
Right. The just-in-case counselor.
We've been meaning to come here for months. But you know how it goes, life gets loud, and marriage gets quiet.
That quiet can be the loudest sound in the house.
What about you two? What brought you here?
Well, nothing much, just a routine check.
I don't mean to pry, but is this just a check-in session or?
Yes, just a check-in session. Nothing else.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we are here for the same reason too.
It's necessary.
Diana and Collins.
We'll see you both soon.
Yeah, take care.
You think they're here for the same reason?
Maybe. Or something close enough. You don't come to a specialist like this unless something's out of balance.
But they acted so casual. Like they were just checking a box.
So did we.
Touché. We're all lying then, just with different degrees of polish.
Most people don't like putting their wounds on display, especially not married folks. Pride makes you tuck it in, even when it's bleeding through your shirt.
Still. I never imagined Collins and Diana needing therapy.
You'd be surprised who's barely holding it together behind closed doors. The couples who smile the widest sometimes cry the hardest in silence.
Do you think people say the same about us?
Probably. But I don't care what they think. I care that we're here. That we're choosing to fight. That you confessed. That I stayed. This is the truth now, and the truth always has more power than the lie we dressed up to survive.
Then let's keep walking in it. No matter who's watching.
I still remember the weight I carried, like I was sinking and couldn't say a word. But tonight, I can breathe again. And it's because I didn't fight alone.
You didn't have to. Even when I didn't understand everything, I saw the man I married slipping away. I just kept hoping he'd return.
There were nights I couldn't even look you in the eye. Shame does that. But you didn't shame me. You waited. You prayed. And you stayed.
Healing takes time, Collins. But when it comes, it's worth every ache before it. I never doubted your desire to be whole again.
I thank God for bringing me back. I was filling a void the wrong way. But he met me there, in the mess. And he used you to anchor me.
Now we've crossed that valley. And I'm grateful, not just because it's over, but because we're closer. More honest. More whole.
I won't take that for granted. I'm done hiding. If ever I struggle again, you'll be the first to know. That's my vow.
And I'll listen. No judgment. Just love and truth.
Thank you, Diana. For believing in the version of me I almost lost.
We don't win by being perfect. We win by refusing to quit. And we didn't quit.
There's something I've been holding on to. And tonight, I can't celebrate love without releasing it.
You don't have to ruin a good evening with old weight.
I'd rather ruin a moment than build memories on secrets.
All right. I'm listening.
Even though I am or I believe I have been healed from my obsession with intimacy, there is this guilt pulling me under.
Guilt for what?
For taking matters into my own hands. Literally.
Joan.
I started masturbating. After you stopped responding. I told myself it was better than betrayal. But it became its own prison.
What? And you never said a word?
I know, I messed up. I wanted to confess. But shame shut my mouth and pride swallowed the key.
You sat in therapy, beside me, all this time, holding that?
Every session. Every prayer. I wanted to come clean. But I thought admitting it would make you see me as unworthy.
I don't see you as unworthy. I see you as human. But I wish you had trusted me with your weakness instead of protecting me from it.
I was afraid that if you knew, you'd give up on us.
Keeping it hidden did more damage than the act itself.
I know. And I'm sorry, not just for what I did, but for almost destroying our marriage.
You were wrong to keep it buried. But I'd rather walk forward with truth than be frozen by what's behind us.
Does that mean we're okay?
It means we begin again. But this time, everything comes to the table.
Even the things we're still afraid to say?
Especially those.
God calls us to flee sexual immorality. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18. And even lustful thoughts are condemned by Jesus himself. Matthew 5 verse 28. Masturbation, often fueled by lust, turns inward rather than outward toward the spouse, violating the purity and unity God intended. It feeds desires that should be reserved for one another and opens doors to further sin, such as pornography, fantasy, and deceit. Healing begins when secrecy ends. True intimacy is built on openness, confession, repentance, and forgiveness. God's desire is not to shame us, but to restore us. When a husband or wife brings their private struggles into the light, and both seek God's healing together, grace can rebuild what shame tried to destroy. Marriage thrives when both partners choose openness over fear, truth over pride, and healing over temporary comfort. In every broken place, God's grace can rebuild, but only when we are willing to bring our wounds into the light. Amen.